I have an experience in networking and cybersecurity for more than 10 years. So today's lecture, which has been assigned to me, is Introduction to Operating Systems. So it will be a basic details about operating systems, how operating system work and all. So if you have any queries in between, you may ask through the chat portion. So today, what I'm going to speak about is what is operating system, computer system organization, operating systems, operations, types and environments, questions and answers if any you have. And we have a very small time allotted here is 35 minutes to start with. Uh, this What is an operating system? A program that acts as an intermediary between a user of a computer and computer hardware. It's a collection of software that manages computer hardware resources, provide common services to the computer program, allocation of resources and services such as memory, processor devices, information. The goals for operating system are to execute the user program and make solving users problem easier, make the computer system convenient to use the computer hardware in an efficient manner. If we see the structure of computer systems can be divided into four parts. One is hardware, operating system, application programs, and users. Hardware means CPU, memory, output devices. Operation systems mean control and coordination, use of hardware among various applications and users. Application programs define the ways in which system resources are being used to solve the computing problems of the users. Word processor, compilers, web browser, database, video games, and users are the users of particular computer, people, machines, and computer. This is the outline what we say that the computer hardware upon on top of that computer hardware we have the operating system, and on top of that operating system we have the application programs, and then on that top of that application programs our users are working. So we have a four level architecture here. What operating system do depends on the viewpoint. User wants convenience, ease of use, good performance, don't uh, care about resources utilization. There are some shared computer which keep all users happy. Users of dedicated systems such as workstations have dedicated resources but frequently use shared resources from servers. Handheld computers are resource poor, optimized for usability and battery life. Some computers have little or no user interface, such as embedded computers and device automobiles. So these are the some things which a computer system usually do. Every computer depends on operating system to keep their hardware running efficiently, maintains a file system, supports multitasking, manage virtual memory. Operating system runs continuously when computers is on. Serve as a tool for doing system maintenance, repairs that are not handled by operating system. Utilities, it provides some utilities that makes it easier for users to copy files, repair damaged files, translate files to different programs, guard against viruses and other harmful programs, compress files so that they take up less spaces. These are the some functionalities of operating system. Now, when we boot up a computer, boot up means when we switch on a computer, the CPU automatically begins executing instructions stored on the ROM. ROM is a part that is called read-only memory. So that part is fixed on each computer. There are few instructions on that particular ROM to load the operating system from the disk into the memory. OS loads the application program into memory and remains in memory so that it can provide services to application program, display on screen menu, communicate with the printer and other peripheral device, and perform other common actions. This is how it is done. Whenever you switch on instruction from CPU is a CPU started, it gives the instruction read from ROM, and OS is loaded from the hard disk into the memory, and it keeps on there. So OS is a resource allocator, manages all resources, decides between conflicting requests from efficient and fair use. OS controls the execution of programs to prevent errors and improper use of the computer. Now, computer system organization. In computer system organization, a computer system can have one or more CPU. The device controller connects to common bus, providing access to shared memory, concurrent execution of CPUs and devices competing for the memory cycles. You see, this is the memory below in the below part, and we have CPU, disk controller, USB controller, and graphics part, and few output devices also. Those are hungry for this memory. You see, this is a system organization. These are the physical parts. All the physical parts, microphone, speaker, keyboard, USB, CD, mouse, flash drive, USB drive, modem, printer, monitor, all are being handled by this operating system at the same time. Internal devices like RAMs, sound card, motherboard, CPU, all how you manage your program is being handled by our operating system. So it means that whenever there is a hardware is your computer, the hardware is being controlled by operating system. Everything on that hardware, every peripheral, every attached device, whatever they are in this hardware, is being controlled by operating system. Operating system provides an environment for execution of program and services to the program and users. One set of operating system services provide functions that are helpful to the user interface. Almost all operating systems have an user interface. Okay, varies between command line and graphic GUI program variations. Okay, so what is a CLI? CLI is a black screen on which we type. Usually in network systems where we use Linux kind of system, we usually use command line, and graphical is the type what we usually use in day-to-day programming in Windows. It's a graphical. It doesn't mean that Linux doesn't have a graphical interface, but usually in Linux, we do in command line. Program execution. System must be able to load program into memory and run that program and end execution either normally or abnormally, indicating error. Input output operations are also managed by a operating system. A running program may require input output, which may involve a file or an input output device. These all are arranged by operating system. A file system manipulation. File system is a particular system is of a particular interest. Program needs to read, write files and directories, create, delete them, search them, list file information, and partition management. These are facilitated by operating system. Communication. Processors may exchange information on the same computer or in between the computers over a network. Communication may be via shared memory or through a message passing. Packets moved by operating system. Or error detection. Operating system needs to be constantly aware of possible errors. Operating systems are designed to run on a particular hardware platform. Applications are run on particular operating systems. Most cloud applications are designed to run on multiple platforms. Computer system operations. Input output devices and CPU can execute concurrently. Each device controller is in charge of particular device type. Each device controller has local buffer. CPU moves data from or to the main memory to or from the local buffers. Our input output is from device to local buffer of the controller. Device controller informs CPU that it has finished its operation by causing an interrupt. What are interrupts? Common functions of interrupt. Interrupt transfer control to interrupt service routine generally through interrupt vector. which contains the address of the service routines. Interrupt architecture must save the address of interrupted instruction. A trapped or execution is a software generated interrupted caused either by error or user request. An operating system is an interrupt driven operating system. Operating system preserves the state of CPU by storing the register and program counter, determine which interrupt has occurred, polling or vector interrupt system. Separate segments of code determine which action should be taken for each type of interrupt. After input output starts, control returns to user program only upon the input output completion. So it waits instruction idle CPU until next interrupt. Wait loop is executed. At most, one input output request is outstanding at the time. No simultaneous input output processing is possible. So it's a type of sequential input output operation is a type of sequential type of thing. After input output starts, control returns to user without waiting for input system calls. System calls request the OS to allow user to wait for the input output. Device data table contains entry for each input output indicating its type, address, and state. OS indexes into input output table for determining the device status to modify the table entry to include the interrupt. Then we see the storage uh, units. You see, in case of computers, we only talk about and bits and bytes are represented by 0 and 1s. Okay, so this is a simple thing that each there are 8 bytes. Bits make 1 byte. Okay, in base 2 number system, if we represent 8 bits and that is power 2 raised to power 8, that means that we are representing it as 2255. Let me see pointer. See, if we are representing 8 bytes, it means we are representing 250 5 to 8 bits. I'm sorry, 8 bits. So what is this? How we have the units of storage here? 1 bit, 8 bits becomes 1 byte. Then 1000 to 4 bytes become 1 kilobyte. Then 1000 to 4 kilobytes becomes 1000 1 megabytes, and 1000 to 4 megabytes become 1 gigabyte, and 1024 gigabytes makes 1 terabyte. 1024 makes 1 petabyte. So it becomes 2 raised to power in 2's power, 2 raised to power 10, 2 raised to power 20, 2 raised to power 30, 2 raised to power 40, and 2 so on. Okay. The structure of the storage, main memory, only large storage media that CPU can access directly. The random access, typically it's a volatile kind of memory. It's called RAM. Secondary storage, extension of the memory that provides large non-volatile storage capacity like hard disk. They are a kind of magnetic materials. Disk surface is logically divided into tracks which are subdivided into sectors. The disk controller determines the logical interaction between the devices and computer. There are new device disk types of disk that are called solid state disk, faster than hard drive, and they are non-volatile too. Various technologies because these are becoming more popular nowadays. So we have some computer for now few years coming with SSD drives, the solid state drives, and they are becoming more and more popular. In storage hierarchy, storage system organized in hierarchy is speed, cost, and volatility. Caching, copying information into faster storage system. The main memory can be viewed as cache for secondary storage. You see, what is caching? It happens when that because if you see the speed of a CPU is running at you see at around 3 gigahertz or maybe more in this current scenario. Now what happens? The RAM, usually RAM is currently around 1.5 to 2 gigahertz. So speed of RAM is always less than the speed of CPU. So whenever CPU is processing, executing some work, CPU has to wait till the uh, RAM responds. So there is a gap of gap between the speed of CPU and the speed of the RAM. So CPU has to sit idle. So to faster this process, there is a concept called caching. So some additional memory has been added in CPU that can work as meanwhile, which accesses data from RAM and keeps it in storage. So that CPU has to wait a bit smaller time than actually without that RAM. This caching can be held at every point. In case of CPU, there is a small amount of cache memory may be added. In case of RAM, a small memory may be added to defined as a cached memory, so that these hard disks and all, which are working or they are operating at lower speed than your RAM, may take help from that particular point, caching point. Okay, so this is like that. For device level, device controller to manage input output, provide uniform interfaces between controller and RAM. This is how, when data is executed, the main memory, the interrupts or instructions that are being executed at registered level are transferred to cache, then to main memory, then to our hard disk or solid disk drives, then to hard disk, then to optical disk, and then to magnetic tapes. This is how actually information flows in our storage system. Okay. Caching, as I told, it's an important principle performed at many levels in a computer, in hardware, operating system, software. Information is in use, copied from slower to faster storage temporarily. Faster storage checked first to determine if information is there. If it is there, information used directly from the cache, it becomes faster. If not, data is copied to cache and used from there. Cache is smaller than storage, being cached. Cache management important design problem, cache size and replacement policy. Direct memory access structure used for high speed input output device available to transmit information at close to memory speed. Device controller transfer blocks of data from buffer outage directly to main controller without CPU intervention. Only one interrupt is generated per block rather than one interrupt per byte. Now sorry, types and environments. There are basically three types of operating system. One is multi-user, another multitasking, and multi-threading. Multi-user means when more than one user work with a computer at the same time. Multitasking, two or more processes running at the same time. Multi-threading, when two or more parts of same processes running at the same time. Multi-programming, best type of system needed for efficiency. Single user cannot keep CPU or input-output device busy all the time. Multi-programming organizes jobs, so CPU always has one to execute. A subset of total jobs in the system is kept in the memory. One job selected and run via job scheduling. When it has to wait for input-output operation, or switches to another job. Okay. Then time sharing, what is called multitasking, is a logical extension in which CPU switches jobs so frequently that user can interact with each job while it is running and creating interactive computing. Response time is very less; it is less than second. It is counted in millisecond. Each user has at least one program executing in the memory, and each program that is called process. If several jobs ready to run at the same time, CPU is scheduling between the processes. If processes doesn't fit in the memory, swapping them in and out from the memory to that from external memory to the internal memory. Virtual memory allows execution of process not completely in memory. In traditional computing environment, what used to happen was standalone general purpose machines. But blurred as most system interconnect with that is now portals provide web services to internal access systems. Network computers are like web terminals. Mobile computers interact via wireless networks. Networking becomes ubiquitous. Even home systems use firewall to protect home computers from internet attacks. There is mobile computing environment. These are used by smartphones and tablets, handheld smartphones. Uh, Function difference between traditional and laptop. Extra features more. It has more features like GPS, gyroscope, etc. Allows new types of app like augmented reality. It allows wireless or cellular data networks for connectivity. Here, Google and Android are the leaders. Then distributed computing environment. These are collection of separate, possibly heterogeneous system network together. A network is a communication path. TCP/IP most common. There are local LAN, wide area network, and peer-to-peer networking systems. Networking operating system provides features between system across the network. Communication scheme allows system to exchange messages. Illusions is a single system. Then there is a client-server system environment. Here, many dumb terminals are supplemented by smart PCs. Many system now servers responding to requests generated by clients. Compute server system provides an interface to client to request services, that is database. Files server system provides interface to clients to store or retrieve files. See this the example. Here a server network, a client server desktop is there. Client, laptop, smartphone, all are connected via network to a server. Then there is peer-to-peer network environment. Here, what happens? It's a type of distributed system, but it does not distinguish clients or server because every node can become a server and every node can become a client. Or here, all nodes are considered as peers. May each act as client or server both. Node must join to a P2P network, register its service with the central lookup service or broadcast request for service and response to protocol for service via discovery protocol. Example Napster, Nutella. These are old, but these were peer-to-peer network. And nowadays, Skype, voice over IP are also peer-to-peer network. Any other, if you can, example you can say is we use our mobile phones. We want share data from each one's mobile phone. We use usually we use share it like program. So we can share data from one mobile to another from a program mobile, or we can receive. That network, that share it network, is also a peer-to-peer network. Okay. Then there is a concept of virtualization. Now, if you see in older times, what happened uh, in computing environment was that we have mainframes. Okay. So what were mainframes? We have means listened about mainframe computers. We are have this is working on mainframes. So what were mainframes? Mainframes were the computer which can handle number of operating systems. They can host number of operating systems in a single place, and dumb terminal used to get connected to particular operating system, and they used to operate on that particular operating system. So single mainframe computer used to serve many of the all of the users in particular means particular organization. Now, since after 2000, the requirement of high performance computing increased. The Therefore, what happened? The virtualization concept of virtualization came in. What it happens where in virtualization allows the operating system to run within other OSs, other OSs. It is an emulated kind of system when CPU resources is being uh, divided, and it is shared in some single machine. OS natively compiled for CPU running as guest OSs, also natively compiled. Considering one of the main example of virtualization operating system is VMware, running on it runs on a Windows PC, and you can load many as few many 3 4 operating system on top of a Windows PC. So you can have a Windows PC where you many of the virtual operating systems are running. Use cases involve laptops and desktops running multiple OSs for exploration or compatibility. Apple laptops running Mac OS host, Windows as a guest, developing apps for multiple OSs without having multiple systems. This is very useful when suppose I want to develop some application for Android. Uh, I can do it on my virtual Android emulator on my laptop, so that I can see that whenever my app runs on particular mobile set, how it looks like. QA testing application without having multiple systems. Quality assurance can be done. Executing and managing computing environment with data centers. VMM can run natively in which they are also hosts. There is no general purpose host then. VMware, ESX, Centrix, GenServer, all are there. This is virtualization environment in the graphical view. You see that this is the base hardware kernel of that operating system, and the processes are running. On top of that, a virtual manager comes in and it loads virtual VMs. These are separate VMs. So each a single computer here is being divided into various parts. Okay, so this may be a Linux, this may be a Mac, and this may be a, your Windows. Okay. Computing environment, there are cloud computing environment, another delivering computer storage even as a service across a network. Logical extension of virtualization because it virtualizes as the base for this function. So what happens? Virtualization, when we talk about virtualization, we are talking about a computer, and on the top of that, but that various OSs are being loaded. But when we talk about cloud, there is we expand this virtualization over a network. Okay, there are many type of clouds: public cloud, private cloud, hybrid clouds available via internet to anyone willing to pay. It's called public cloud. Private is run by a company for company's own use. Hybrid cloud includes both the private and public. So there you can run software as a service, you can run platform as a service, you can give the infrastructure as a service in a public kind of thing. Computing environment composed of traditional OSs plus VMs, virtual machines, plus cloud management tools. Internet connectivity requires security like firewalls, load balancers, spread traffic across the multiple applications. Then there are another type of environment, that is real-time embedded and system. Real-time embedded system most relevant from of computers, very considerable. Special purpose, limited purpose OS, real-time OS, and they are expanding. Many such special computing environment as well. Some have OSs, some platform like without works without OS. Real-time OS has well-defined fixed time constraint. Processing must be done with a constraint. Correct operation only if constraints are met. Operating system made available in source code. Now this is open source operating system. What happens here is When we see our traditional operating system like Windows and Unix, the operating system doesn't provide. Some noise is coming, somebody is saying. Operating system made available in source code format rather than binary closed source. Counter to copy protection, digital media rights movement started by Free Software Foundation, which has copyleft, and these are working under GNU public licenses. And examples like Linux, BSD, Unix, Mac include code, many more. Can we use virtual managers like VM Player, free on Windows, VirtualBox, open source, and free for many platforms, used to run guest operating system for exploration. There are many flavors of operating system like Windows, Mac OS, then Linux. Windows current version is for non-professional one is Windows Home 10. Professional version is Windows 10 Server or Windows 10 Pro Professional and Windows Server 2019. In Macintosh Mac versions, we have Mac OS 11.0 that was released last year in June 2020. We have updates uh, of 11.02 is the latest update from that. Then we have Linux and Unix. Unix, this is the absolutely command line character based OS. Internet is populated with the computers running in Unix. OS of the choice for the workstations, mainframes, and research academic settings. Flavored by many who require an industrial strength and multi-user OS. Linux is a Unix clone, is distributed and supported free. Few Linux versions available, Ubuntu, Red Hat, SUSE, CentOS, and many other distributions. Uh, this ends my topic for operating systems, introduction to operating system, how operating system works and what it does. I'm ready for a few questions in between. Uh, so if you have any questions, you can just ask over the chat. Okay, I got a question. What is virtualization? Actually, what happens is, yeah, actually, what happens is when we have a computer, we have a computer resource with us. Suppose I am having a laptop. Okay, but I want that it is running on Windows. I want that this laptop, I need some application that will be targeted towards some flavor of Linux. Okay, but I don't have a Linux installed in that laptop. So what do I do? What I do, I use a virtualization software to divide on top of that particular, on top of that, see, on top of this operating system, I install a virtualized computer, a virtualized machine with Linux or with uh, 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 you say Mac, and I write a program. I'll get a total virtualized environment of that particular operating system, and I can develop means I can develop application for that particular virtualization. So it is dividing my own single resource into many parts so that it's cost effective also. I need not have another computer for developing an application on that particular means platform. So I can have that flavor in my computer also. So I am dividing my particular base machine into several other virtual machines. I got another question. Just a second. Narendra Kumar Prasad. Sir, your question I'm unable to read. I believe you have written it in Hindi or maybe some other language. It is not coming to my screen. So kindly, if you could write in English, some boxes are coming. Oh, sir, you are typing in Hindi, but this it is not supporting, I believe.
Hello, Anupamda.
Yeah.
Copy that question and paste it in Google or in browser. You will get the thing. Copy
Uh,
the question only.
thanks. Let me see. Let me see. Okay, the question. Okay, I got the question, Naren ji. Thank you. क्या क्लाउड कंप्यूटिंग सेफ है डेटा सिक्योरिटी की नज़र से? क्या एनआईसी का क्लाउड कंप्यूटिंग प्लेटफॉर्म उपलब्ध कराती है? क्लाउड कंप्यूटिंग सिक्योरिटी की नज़र से सेफ है अगर उसे अच्छी तरह से सिक्योरिटी का ख्याल रखते हुए डिप्लॉय किया गया है तो वो सेफ है। एनआईसी क्लाउड कंप्यूटिंग, दूसरा क्वेश्चन है आपका, क्लाउड कंप्यूटिंग प्लेटफॉर्म उपलब्ध करवाती है? बिल्कुल करवाती है। एनआईसी क्लाउड कंप्यूटिंग प्लेटफॉर्म उपलब्ध करवाती है। आपको एनआईसी से बात करनी पड़ेगी। अगर आप उसका क्लाउड यूज करना चाहते हैं तो एनआईसी के कॉन्टैक्ट पर्सन से बात करके आप अपना होस्टिंग कर सकते हैं। I hope I have answered Mr. Narendra Kumar. Any other question?